This roguelite game might be the best roguelite game of 2024, and that's saying a lot because it released so early in the year, but it's Balatro. It's a deck building roguelite game where you play poker. And initially, I am a fan of poker, so I was super intrigued to play this game. And after playing for 4 hours, I will say this game is fantastic. But the game's a lot more in depth than you think. What I want to do is try to cover everything that we can about Balatro quickly and precisely to determine if you should buy this game, whether you like poker or not. I usually cover the insides of a run totally before going on to the outside of a run, but this game doesn't really have an outside of the run, so I'm going to do different sections of inside the run with inside the core game, the shop, and then the end game, because there is some end game content, and that's really all there is to know. So let's get into that. Inside the core run, you have 8 worlds total, with each world having 3 antes, and each ante, you have to win a certain amount of money to move on to the next one. Inside every ante, you get a random set of cards from your deck, and it's your job to make the best hand possible. You're able to discard a few cards every single turn if there's a few cards that you don't want, but it's your job to make a certain amount of money, however much the ante is, in about 3 to 5 hands. And if you don't know anything about poker, you're able to use a little cheat sheet that the game has. It'll tell you what it takes to make a hand like 3 of a kind, full house, flush, straight. If you don't understand poker, it's easy to learn from that little cheat sheet, and really you just have to make a certain amount of money. All the different hands are worth a different amount of money, and there's a lot of different enhancers that'll buff certain types of hands, which we'll get into when we go over the shop. And after playing for about 4 hours, I genuinely think this game is a lot of fun. As someone who has played poker in the past and does like to play poker, not on like a professional level, the game starts off a little bit slow, but after about halfway through the run, you can really start picking up pace, and the challenge and difficulty does go up quite exponentially. If you don't have a good run going, you will know you're not having a good run going. But overall, I think the game is a lot of fun inside of a run. And my winning run, I did win a run. It took me about 1 hour and 23 minutes or so, which is on the longer side, but once you pick up the game more and start to understand it, the run time will probably go down exponentially. But the most important thing inside of a run, besides just picking up your cards and trying to make as much money as possible inside of an ante, it's the shop. After every single poker game, you earn money based off a few things: how hard the fight was and how many turns you had left. Those are the 2 main things, and then you have interest for every $5 that you have in your wallet. So if you have about $25, you get like $5 extra of interest. And that may not sound like a lot, but the shop is the most important thing in this game, and it's relatively cheap, but there's a lot to learn inside of the shop. So first and most importantly inside the shop, we have Joker cards, which act as run-long buffs. Just basically buff up all your cards. There's about 150 different Joker cards. All of them have different effects on the game. Like some Joker cards will give you a multiplier bonus based off how many of the same suit you played, or will give you 50 extra credits just for existing. There's a lot of different effects on these Joker cards that will impact how much money you make off of a single turn, because you need to make a lot of money towards the end of the game. The Joker cards will either give you multipliers, which is basically multiplying all the money you have, or will give you extra money. And really, the Joker cards, they're the most important thing, I'd say, which is why I'm talking about them first. But once you start playing the game and start reading the Joker cards, you start to realize how important they are. But you're only able to have 5 of them at once, maybe more depending on what type of deck you have. But 5 Joker cards at once, and they are super good. It's hard to say what the second most important card is inside the shop, but I'm going to go with the solar system cards or the planet cards, because those ones are able to buff all your hands. So every single hand in this game has something related to it with a planet. So if you buy an Earth card, that will upgrade your full house to give you more money and more multiplier every time you play a full house. And every single type of hand that you have does have an Earth card that you can upgrade. I find these very important to try and balance them out, because you never know how deep into a run you are, and then next thing you know, you can only play like an ace high card. So it'll be good to get any type of multipliers you can get. One thing that's great about these planet cards and these Joker cards is it doesn't even matter what type of hand you play. You definitely can build around a certain hand, like flushes being your most important thing, or even 2 pairs being the most important thing, but it shows that any type of hand can work in this game if you build around it smartly. And after that, there's still so much you can buy inside the shop that really affects the run. You have all these different vouchers which act as run-long buffs that really just affect your game, like they allow you to re-roll the boss if you don't like the negative enhancement that the boss has. Because of course, the final level on every single ante, you're gonna have a negative enhancement you have to worry about. And then there's tarot cards as well, which can do so many different things. things like transform your cards into different suits, give you more Joker cards, spawn a random Joker card. The list is endless. And then of course there's a random booster pack which lets you add 1 or 2 random cards to your hand, and those random cards might also have a status effect on them. A status effect might be like a steel foil on it, where if it's in your deck when you play a hand, you get like a 1.5 times multiplier. The shop is insane, and it's definitely the most important thing in this game. And then after you win a run, if you're managed to win a run, there is an endless mode, which seems quite fun, but I haven't really dived into that yet because it's just an endless mode. I know what the run unlocks. And yeah, really, this game has a lot. And that's the insides of a run, really. You have your base run where you're just playing poker, trying to get the best hand possible and make money. You have an endless mode if you do end up winning a run, which is nice if you like that challenge. And then you have a crazy in-depth shop that has so much to it and so much planning around building the perfect deck. It's insane. But there's still a little bit more outside of a run that we can quickly discuss before you can decide if you want to buy this game or not. And outside of a run, it isn't too crazy, don't worry. There's a lot of different decks that you can start with that all have different starting buffs. Like one deck gives you extra money, another deck gives you an extra Joker slot at some negatives like less money earned, and then you can just have a normal deck that has like 1 extra discard every single game. Really, as a poker fan, I think this game is incredible. As someone who struggles to get into deck builders because I don't have the most patience in the world at times, I find this game to be incredible. It's like $15 US or so, and it just released, and really, if you like roguelites, if you like deck builders, if you like poker, this game is good. Even if you don't like poker and you're still like enticed to try it, I would say give it a shot. This game is gonna be something special. I just know it. And really, it might be the best roguelite of 2024. So thank you for watching this quick, messy review of Balatro. I hope you enjoyed, and if you pick it up, I hope you have as much fun as I'm gonna have with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.